right, hello everyone. I'm sorry, I'm running a little behind today because I took a little longer getting home than I had meant to. Um, I see desktop audio is not capturing. Why the fuck not? What are you mad about, you little bitch? There we go. All right. I took a little longer to get home today than I had meant to. There was a little pop-up shop selling bonsai trees, and I just had to stop and look at them. Oh, Bunny, how are you? Welcome in. And Boyo came home real quick and made lunch, so, I'm hungry. There's a very interesting lunch because he thought he grabbed 2 packs of cheddar broccoli pasta. One was pasta and one was rice. I'm doing good. It's been a day. But it hasn't been a bad day. It's been a good day. I may have a new rheumatologist, so yay that. Because I've been fighting for that. Just got done pouring concrete. Ugh, I do not miss doing that. Haven't had to do it in a long time. But I don't miss doing it. I liked writing my name in it. And drawing pictures in it. And letting the cats walk on it accidentally. I didn't do that shit on purpose. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, so we finished Coteries of New York last week. And then the next, I don't know if this is the next game immediately after that, or where it falls in the timeline, or if there's games in between. I don't know. I'm just here to play a game, and by play I mean read, because this is a visual novel. I like it. Didn't get paid because I was doing it around my house, but that's fair. It means you can put whatever you want in it. If you want to take a freaking dildo and stamp it in there, you can. I don't know why that's the first thing my brain went to. I blame Mom. Not my mom. My friend's mom. She hung a double-ended Great American Challenge as a horseshoe on her front door to keep the Jehovah's Witnesses away. That's where that idea came from. That's exactly where that spurned from, was her horseshoe. She kept on the front door so the Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons would stay away. And it worked! It was great! They opened that screen door and see that thing there, and they're like, nope, we're out. Good times, good times. All right. Well, that awkward memory is out of the way. It's not awkward. Who am I kidding? That's a fantastic memory. Hi, Ame. How are you? Just because I'm not eating it right this second does not mean it's for you. We've been over this, sir. Thank you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit new game finally. Geez, which slot will I use? The empty one. Obviously. Welcome to my castle. I don't know what voice I should be doing here. Male, female, there's no discerning. Whatever, we're here. I made the text really big so I could actually fucking see it. Don't expect everyday logic to work here. It went out of the window sometime after midnight. Maybe earlier. The only downside is I have to scroll up. My kingdom is not of this world, you see. It lies far outside of concrete, tangible reality. I've tried to identify the way people reach it, and am convinced it has something to do with the moon. I think I need to adjust that setting. Can I do that? Set it to fast, but that seems to be... Then I have to scroll up a bunch. I don't like the constant scrolling. Okay, maybe I have to set it to slow then, so I can actually read it as it goes in. Some say the moon's aura can turn them insane. You've heard the phrase moonstruck and lunatic. The way I see it, moonlight gives them some subliminal permission to reveal their true self. Try adjusting it one more time. Boop. And so, whenever they let the silver radiance guide them to the gates of this place, they feel different. Once they pass the doorstep, they're ready to act out. A dance of horrors and marvels begins. It's 3:31 a.m. Welcome to Big Beat Burger. Delicious. If you're here at this hour, you're not exactly readying up to be a productive member of society come tomorrow morning. More likely, you're partying, praying that the sunrise never comes. Sorry. Insatiable children of the night gather round, hoping to bask in the afterglow of tonight's victories, unwind after a frustrating series of failures, or simply fight to keep themselves together. Go with that last one. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here greedily reveling in every interaction they have. They have no idea. They have no idea they are only here for my amusement. To them, I'm just a random girl sitting in the corner. Hey, female. Good. But this is my domain. Okay, but this is my domain. I've been coming here almost every night for years. I know where to sit, where to look, and where to eavesdrop for maximum amusement. This way I don't have to scroll so much. Hopefully it doesn't fuck with my dyslexia too much. I'm basically a voyeur, and unashamed to admit it. It gave me insight about the human condition I'd never otherwise have gathered. More importantly, a necessary skill set to make ends meet as a journalist. As I write on my crappy old laptop, patiently waiting for the legion of negative voices in my head to get too tired to offer useless feedback, I keep my senses peeled to pick up stories around me. Of course, a lot of regular events, such as food fights, are nothing to write home about, aside from my unfortunate tendency to become collateral damage in someone else's battles. Up to this day, I've had to wash my clothes because of Coke, Diet Coke, hot coffee, apple pie, and some sort of improvised honey mustard bomb. Every stain tells a different story. Sometimes this hobby is exhausting. Sometimes it's disturbing. Sometimes it's dangerous, although not as risky as back when I wasn't carrying pepper spray. Still, the sights I've taken in over the years here have made it absolutely worth it. I've got so many stories, I don't know where to begin. Theatrical breakups, impromptu morning parties, unexpected friendships forged in the fires of senseless battle. A lady in a gorgeous Givenchy dress, ordering a box of takeout chicken nuggets, paying in cash with her hands completely covered in blood. She was asked if she wanted a napkin. She said no. Two thirsty macho dudes shamelessly going for it in the corner, hushed moaning filling the lobby while everyone around vainly fights to act as usual and maintain an illusion of normalcy. Interesting choice of venue for that, but okay. A straight-up kung fu fight between a diminutive cashier and some drugged bodybuilder going through a psychotic episode, trying to break all the windows. The big guy left the joint fully convinced he KO'd himself, while the service worker was just standing next to him. He seemed proud of his victory, too. A middle-aged hag getting a heart attack after screaming her lungs out not to let Muslims near her food just because she saw a white girl wearing a hairnet behind the counter. Okay. Yep, that sounds about right. We're on the right timeline, unfortunately. A masked couple robbing the restaurant of 30 hamburgers, forcing the employees to cook at gunpoint. Police later said those were art students reenacting some hipster book they read. What book is that? I want to read that book. This is life. Is it? Must be life in New York. This is humanity, at its worst and best. No. Mine. This is the noise that serves as the foundation for my creativity. This is the soma that keeps me going. This is... As pathetic as it may sound these days, this is the only place where I feel alive. Sometimes I think of myself as a leech, feeding on these people's stories, emotions, and personalities just because I'm not satisfied with mine. At times I think of my psyche as some kind of shitty postpartum construct that is fundamentally incapable of honesty, but only yearns for something felt and truthful. Does this even make any sense? Look at the screen of my laptop. 3:47 a.m. At this point, I'm almost somnambula. I don't fucking know. My dyslexia says, what the fuck is that word and why? Somnambulic? My medical background is not helping me put that word together, but okay. But nothing interesting has happened yet, so it's some kind of feeling. Feels like all the customers are watching each other tonight, hoping for the others to provide a fun diversion. This is my turf, you parasitic douchebags. Next time, go find your own. I think it's time to call it a night. Coffee I always order so that they don't kick me out is undrinkable. Ugh. I reread the rough draft I've been working on for the last 6 hours. God damn, this is pure trash. I hold the backspace button until the Google document page is nothing but a calm white slate and let out a sound of deep relief. You could have just used the delete button, rather than hitting... Never mind, it's fine. There's no pleasure more intoxicating for a frustrated rider than raging on someone even worse than them. And what target is easier than the dumb bitch you used to be 10 minutes ago? I check the time again. I need to go. I have an important meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m., and I have a hunch it's not going to end well. And it's not because I'm an irresponsible dumbass who's going to need a few cups of coffee to simply function on a basic level despite, 4 hours of sleep. It's because I always have a hunch things are not going the way they're supposed to. Click, clack, click, click, clack. The loud clatter of keyboards assault me from all sides. Makes this splitting headache unbearable. Used to be I dreamed of nothing else but being a part of the New York Lodestar editorial team. It was the first magazine I started reading regularly, the first magazine I ever bought for myself. Now simply hearing the word Lodestar is enough to ruin my mood. Never mind seeing all of these old farts phoning in more reactionary opinion columns and Wikipedia-level analysis of current events. Click, clack, click, click, clack. They used to destroy and rebuild my entire worldview every month. They shaped my thinking about politics, art, journalism. They even pointed me toward my favorite cigarette brand, for God's sake. Then some talented people started leaving for greener pastures. Some got too wrapped up in their own neuroses. Some became complacent. All of them committed the sin of allowing themselves to grow older. Fresh blood was deemed unnecessary, even though young freelancers kept being bled dry. These days, whenever someone from outside Lodestar talks about Lodestar, it's because of a few idealistic contributors willing to accept meager pay while putting in serious work. Dumbasses. Other than that, the magazine specializes in publishing pale echoes of provocative ideas I heard somewhere else a few years prior, wrapped in the aesthetic that hasn't been cutting edge for a decade. No wonder the readership is in free fall, but even though the ship is sinking, the old guard won't let it go down without a fight. As in, if anyone from the outside attempts to board the vessel in hopes of fixing its course or its holes, they will be swiftly taken care of. I should know. Been there, done that. As it stands, the only full-time staff member who doesn't make me regularly attempt to cringe my face off with his writing is Lodestar's editor-in-chief, Brian Nink, the man sitting in front of me right now. Of course, he only has time for editorials these days. A drop in the sea of needs. Managerial duties hit him hard. It's the second time he lets out a theatrical cough like this. He said his piece. Now it's up to me to react, and I'm coming up blank. But what do you want me to say, Brian? I'm pissed off. I can tell you've already made up your mind, but you still want to go through the motions, just to make me feel listened to. Whatever, let's do this. The guy is guilty of major fraud. The man is a sexual harasser. You're protecting a complete piece of shit here. Now look, I know my article sounds like character assassination, but it's just because the guy gave me enough ammo to make him look like Swiss cheese once the story goes live. My sources are legit. They provided receipts for everything. They faced all kinds of injustices and are crying out for help. So why are you siding with a corporate shithead and not them? Your sources are not the problem here. I never said they were. You're avoiding the core of the issue. No, I believe I've pinpointed it in a precise way. If it were up to me, I'd greenlight the article here and now, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you're killing the article just because some rich shithead told you he doesn't like it. Get real, this is not about some millionaire jerk calling me to make an offer I can't refuse. What is it about then? Because it looks awfully like it's about my bosses telling me this outlet can't afford the legal action we have already been threatened with. So, millionaire interference. Oh, for crying out loud, Julia, don't make me treat you like a child. You know how this works. I publish your story. It's Thiel versus Gawker all over again. A lawsuit here, a lawsuit there, until we're bled dry. I have a mortgage. I have 3 mouths waiting to be fed at home. I have an amazing team that doesn't deserve to be torn apart over some... Don't you think it's telling you mentioned your mortgage first? Silence. Just asking questions. You know better than to get into these empty semantic arguments with you, Miss Swensky. You're good at them. The problem is, you're still not good enough. Meaning? You're too in love with weaving a good story and establishing a seductive narrative to let facts get in the way. You've got enough boring pseudos with no principles on board these days. They always give you facts because that's all they can do. I'm using facts in a way to approach some kind of truth. Except facts can blindside you. And Double Spiral has enough facts to water down your story to the point where it makes no sense to publish it. Their HR and PR are working overtime to deliver a convincing counter-narrative. And they're doing a great job. Won't mitigate the damage completely, but will put every little thing in question. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a downright satanic fuckhead. Julia. Let me say it again. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a downright satanic fuckhead. Do you personally believe it or not? This is not. You've listened to the tapes. You've read the transcripts. You've seen the documents. You've got the files. I'm asking for your personal opinion. Do you believe it or not? Click, clack, click, clack, click. Of course I do, but that's besides the point. It's not. Look, how about I just say it out loud and save us both some time? We're not having this conversation because there's an actual conversation to be had. You set up this meeting knowing very damn well there is only one way it's going to end. You've got a mortgage and 3 mouths to feed. You prioritize the well-being of your direct surroundings over some nebulous concept of greater good. I get it. I really do. Yet for some reason, it seems like you're only prolonging this conversation and rationalizing your decisions so that I forgive you? Officially exonerate you? I'm not the bad guy here, Julia. So, what are you? What are you then, in your own words? A man who does what is necessary to protect his own. So, I don't count as your own anymore? He mutters something under his breath, ending with a self-pitying chuckle. I don't know if you'd even want to work under a scumbag like me from now on. Oh, come on, don't turn this into a pity party. No, I'm absolutely a scumbag. And why is that? Because I'm firing you. My thoughts are scrambled. For a brief moment, the state of my bank account displays before my eyes with a startling clarity. A howling void opens in my chest and starts traveling towards my stomach. No, don't panic yet, you idiot. Get more information. Now, there must be a catch. You're joking. Oh, I get it. You're just kidding. I'm a jerk here, but not that much of a jerk. No way. You're gonna say it's just a prank. I know you. This isn't you. This isn't me. It's them. What? Them? Who's them? He glances left and right, and then points upward for a short moment. When he speaks up again, it's in a hushed voice. You know, the big kahunas. Can't really question them. And they wanted your head on a silver plate. He's not looking me in the eye. You're not joking. As I said, I would never joke about this stuff like this. It's real. Fucking hell, it's real. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. That's a lot of damn it's. All these years, all this grind, all my plans, and for what fucking asshole you know, I deserve better, and I always deserved better, and it always ends with me going down the drain, back to the sewers. Fuck! No. Take a few deep breaths. Don't lose the plot now. Keep yourself together, you idiot. The moment you show weakness, they go for your throat. Get back in control. You can't do this. I wish I didn't have to, but it's a lost cause. No, I mean, it's impossible. Julia, you can't fire someone who's never been hired in the first place. It takes him a few seconds to put on his, oh, I get it, face, let out a troubled gasp, and start massaging his temples. Lodestar has been my biggest source of income for the past few years. That much is true, but technically, nobody has ever hired me here. It was all freelance jobs. A full-time position only served as a kind of a dangling carrot, a promise of a decent pay grade, career perspectives, maybe even some kind of insurance to save my failing health. And the recognition I would get for being a part of Lodestar team, a position that everyone around me seems to respect, aside from me. Then why did I want it so much? There will be time to mourn what could have been. For now, I should act like I don't care. You know what I mean. If I let you work, even under a fake name, it would be a guillotine for me. This is ridiculous. You know I'm going to start shopping this story around the second I leave this room, don't you? Of course I know. I told them. Any response? Let us worry about that. Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all. Click, clack, click, clack, click. I do wonder if I could get accustomed to one of these loud mechanical keyboards some people here love to use. Whenever I did my work in here, I was still expected to bring my own crappy laptop and sit closer to the lobby. Always on the outside, no matter how hard I try to break in. A vibration in my back pocket feels like a bad omen. I decide to ignore it for now. I've been working on this fucking story for, 16 months on and off. I know. You kept cheering me on. I know. We have even agreed on the pay I'd receive. I know. I'm 2 months behind on my rent. No, wait. 2.5. I catch him off guard. He is momentarily taken aback and then gives me an empathetic stare. Don't you look at me this way. You don't have the right. I didn't know. Well, now you do. Look, if there's anything I can do to help. If you can't tell your big kahunas to fuck off, I don't think there's a single thing. Julia, I pull out smoke and light it up. Gotta get back in control. Please, don't do that. There's a smoke detector here. No worries. Nick turned it off a few weeks ago. Probably the most creative things he's done in the past 5 years. Good old Nick, the perfect 21st century cinema reviewer. Never has an original thought of his own, just relies on his purely algorithmic taste to stay likable. And the best thing is, it works. Funny, I used to dream about his job. It was Brian who killed this dream, making me realize Nick won't be unseated anytime soon, and offered to teach me the ways of an investigative journalist instead. It wasn't the career I ever wanted to pursue, but to my dismay, I turned out to be surprisingly good at it. Until this Montgomery thing happened. Serves me right. Lesson learned. Should have pursued my dreams instead. Stop it. Nicholas is a good friend, a respected critic, a member of my team, and put out that smoke. People tell me I let you step all over me. Why do I even let you act this way? Because you once told me honesty is most important in a mentor-student relationship. And that it works both ways, and because I thought we were friends. He bites his lip and stares sideways to avoid my eyes. I just realized I didn't start it. It's fine. At the end of the day, bosses aren't friends. Must have been a terrible mentor if I didn't even teach you that. You're still responsible for me. Oh no, you're not getting off this hook that easily. You are still my mentor, and I will make sure you take responsibility. You're getting rid of me, at least point me in the right direction. I need to get my shit together fast, and I can't do it on my own. Fair? I might have failed as a guide, but I will do what I can not to leave you stranded, okay? There are options. None of them are remedy for all your troubles, but... Ugh, wait a second. Another vibration in my pocket. Another foreboding feeling. This time, I reluctantly take the smartphone out of my pocket. If it has to rain, why not let it pour? A new email. It's a lengthy one. And the sender? Speak of the devil. No, this can't be. I just got an email from Mila Lopez. She claims she's just been laid off from Double Spiral, same as Mike Antonoff and Jared Rivera. What? What happened? I'll spare you all her insults, okay? The key thing is, it seems their HR knows all the confidential information about my journalistic investigation and use it to shut everyone's mouth. Hell, apparently Montgomery walked up to Lopez as she was emptying her desk and told her to thank me for being a, quote, dumb and careless cunt. Brian goes pale. I think he has a very good reason to. You fucking scumbag. You outed my sources. What? Of course not. What are you even saying? Oh, don't you dare play coy. It must have been either you or me, no one else. And you know the way I work. My investigation was basically untraceable, both on and offline. Carefully picked meeting spots, encryption upon encryption, every direct quote rewritten 5 times just in case. All sorts of red herring scattered around. I know my shit, you know I do. And this timing? Did you just pass a flash drive to your beloved big kahunas during a meeting as a sign of goodwill? Look, I get you're upset, but why don't we just talk this through calmly? Okay, let's take it step by step. Fuck you! Fury takes the wheel, and I'm just along for the ride. I can't do anything about it. In a deranged way, realizing you're just a passenger in your own body feels liberating. Let's just see how it all unfolds. Let's see it all unfold. Fuck. Calmly. Fuck you, Brian. Julia. I've been paranoid for months and months, acting like everyone I didn't know was an assassin or a corporate spy. I know I haven't messed up. Not in any way that would implicate all of them. You goddamn, you thought you could get away with this? I haven't done anything improper. Don't push the blame on me. So what? You're claiming it's my fault? Because you're never the guilty one. It's always the bosses, the economy, the obligations you have, and now me? You're being silly. Quit with this murder bullshit. Calm down, or I'll have to. You immoral shithead. You motherfucking. Calm down, for God's sake. And so it goes. I yell out a lot of words I wanted to say for a long time, but held back. I fling a lot of insults I've been workshopping for years, hoping I'd never use them. I break a few things. At times, for a split second, I see pity in somebody's eyes. It's gonna haunt me for a long time, but in the heat of the moment, I don't care. These people? No, this company has nothing left to offer me, so at least let me take this catharsis. In the end, a security guard has to escort me out of the building, and that's the end of my journalistic career. I just feel like my world has crumbled into nothing. I mean, you have every right to. Like, Jesus, if I were you, I would have already broken down into a sobbing mess. I'd love to, but I'm on a subway, far too proud to cry in public, even now. And? It's stupid, but I feel like someone out there keeps destroying everything I hold dear just to see my reaction. Like it was a prank show, and someone is waiting to record me crying. So, out of sheer spite, I'm doing my best not to cry. Fuck you, whoever and wherever you are. I fucking feel that. I relate to that so fucking hard. That's the most Julia Sawinski thing I've heard. Spite is the greatest motivator, huh? Not feeling particularly motivated to do anything right now, to be honest. I just want to stay in my bed until my shithead landlord calls the cops and to forcefully evict me. Not surprised. Shit. I know that whenever life decides to fuck you over, it's always one thing after another. But this is too much. How much is too much? Let's recap this last week of June 2019. Oh, it's been out for a while. I had been kicked out of my job. Well, not that I'd ever been hired. So let's just say my mentor broke every vague promise he ever made to me. A big thing I'd been working on for a year and a half went down the toilet. It's all useless. My boss didn't protect my sources properly, and now they keep trying to reach me through every possible channel to threaten me or just yell at me, and they have every right to react like that. All of my side gigs were shut down. Nobody's replying to my emails. Someone's been dragging my name through the mud behind the scenes, and it worked. I still have no idea who is sending these shitty messages around. I've been asking, but listen, don't worry about it. I'm not going to stand idly by and watch you get canceled by some mean-spirited, delusional... I said, don't worry about it. I have 3 unread messages from my landlord. The message previews were stressful enough. A call came from Chicago. Apparently Dad has bladder cancer. Mom is in hysterics, so she'd go crazy if she heard about my situation, so I have to pretend everything's okay whenever she calls. And she calls every day. And she just won't hang up before she offloads all her burdens on me. And I can't blame her, because we all had to learn to cope with Dad's psychopathic tendencies somehow. I was robbed. All my documents and what little money I had, gone. Don't even know when or where it happened, and it's driving me crazy because I'm always extremely wary of pickpockets. The list goes on. I don't want to sound paranoid, but it really feels like a concerted attack. Paranoid is good. Anyway, I know you always hand wave this topic away, but just remember that if anything happens, my place is your place. You don't have to go through it alone. I do. I've been a trouble magnet, and as self-centered as I may be, I don't want it to affect you. I know. Listen, I have another call. All right, just call me if anything happens, no matter how dumb it seems, okay? And swing by whenever you can. I will. Thank you. See you. I put my phone away, exhale, and blankly stare in front of me. Christ. I feel like we're gonna get embraced by a fucking Malkavian and this is gonna be a fucking shit show. Oh. Like this, she gives me a little bit of Malkavian energy. I glance at my reflection in the window. Just look at this idiot. Whenever the situation requires me to dress formally, I still feel a bit like a child cosplaying as an adult. This bitch is me, goddammit! Should have just followed the dress for the job you want advice and continued dressing up like a trust fund kid who keeps partying on Brooklyn rooftops for years without a care in the world. It's only after a while that I realize the car is empty. Unnaturally so. I start feeling uneasy, but someone enters my peripheral vision. Not Malkavian. Clearly vampire, though, judging from those eyes. And that's the last thing I consciously register. The world dissolves. When I come to, I'm out of the subway, standing in a back alley I don't recognize. It's pretty dark. My eyes start adjusting, and I try to figure out what happened. There's a gun in my hand. A faint silhouette at my feet, not moving. Somebody stands in front of me, covered in shadows. Can't fully make out her face, but she's staring at me with visible intent. She speaks. Her voice is raspy and androgynous, her tone hateful and mocking. Aren't you a nasty one? What's going on? Who are you? Don't play coy. My mind goes blank. I look at the ground. There's a body riddled with bullet holes, and I recognize who it is. Was. The corpse belongs to Mike and Antonoff, one of the double spiral whistleblowers, my source. He was just threatening to get back at me a few hours ago. Before I can feel even the tiniest bit of compassion, I face a terrible realization. They will think I'm guilty. Oh my God, am I guilty? How is this real? What have you done to me? You've done something to me, haven't you? Back in the subway, that was you, wasn't it? A man is bleeding out at your feet, and you're turning this around on me somehow? I haven't done anything to him. Again, don't play coy. You knew him. He was mad at you. You started telling him sob stories about your situation. He was having none of it. You got mad. Things escalated. He died. This isn't true. It's plausible, but that doesn't make it true. Or does it? This is just a nightmare. It doesn't even make sense. It must be a dream. And if it isn't, the person in front of me must be responsible. There's a faint voice in my head screaming that it's her world, that I'm just living in it. What have you done to me? Nothing yet. But I'll do what I can to get you locked up for life. This is a murder in the first degree with special circumstances. Her detached voice and nonsensical tone only reassure me this can't be real. I refuse to believe it is. Before I even manage to think this through, I point the gun at her. If I did murder him, you wouldn't be acting like that. You wouldn't be standing in front of me. You'd be running away, calling the police, begging for help, yelling that I'm a psycho. Oh, you are a psycho, but I'm not a coward. I won't let you walk out of here alive. This doesn't make a single lick of sense. Tears well up in my eyes. Why are you doing this? Because sometimes, one has to confront what they're really made of. There's no two ways about it. She's gotta be nuts. Slowly but surely, she starts walking toward me. Stop right there or I'll shoot. Go on. It's the only way you can get off the hook, isn't it? The only way you can survive, but you will definitely prove you are the monster I claim you are. What the fuck is this tone? So controlling, inauthentic, patronizing. I'm serious. For your own sake, you'd better be. She keeps getting closer. Maybe I did kill Antonov. Maybe I don't deserve to live. Maybe it's less tiring not to live? Maybe I should just let her take care of me. Maybe I will just wake up. Or maybe this is insane reality needs to be rejected as violently as possible. Maybe a world that wants to destroy me deserves to be destroyed. She's right in front of me. It's now or never. We're not a killer. That's all that's coming to mind is we're not a killer. I won't shoot. Just help. Please, help me. I will. She yanks the gun out of my hand with ease. Her strength is horrifying, actually, and turns it against me. Then she pulls the trigger. Ow. With a gaping hole where my heart used to be, I fall down onto Antonov's body. If it's any consolation to you, that's the way you are. If that's the way you are, there's no chance. Jesus. There's no chance you were ever going to amount to anything. I've just hastened the inevitable. You're a lowlife, not even worth drinking. I'm just angry at myself for wasting so much time and resources to give you a second chance. Sierra wanted me back in Chicago as soon as possible. She'll have to wait a bit longer. Oh, well. I have no idea what she's talking about, but I am in no condition to care anymore. The comfort of death will come for kind and kindred alike. Cool, so I'm dead. Ha-ha! Quickest ending I've ever gotten. Good job, me. Good job. Great job. Okay. No, can't skip. Can. Just hold escape. Don't make me do all that again. Make me do all that. Get to the fucking monkey. We'll just go ahead and get back to where we were. And then... then I'll take my stretch break. This might take a minute. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Didn't even get embraced. How fucked up is that? I didn't even make it to getting embraced. That's funny. Working on it. My hand is getting tired. I think that's what I clicked. Almost. 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 There we are. Okay, I'm gonna take my stretch break. I will be back momentarily.
Ah, fuck. You're the Wraith? You may be invisible, but I see you, bitch! You're right fucking there! Fuck that shit! Get out of here! Go away! Get out of my butt! Fuck!
I was literally about to say, well, we're pretty decent on generators, though.
I mean, we had to do 3.
Yeah.
So are you spectating by any chance?
Yep.
Good.
Before I pulled it, and then somebody exploded playing with the dog.
Sorry, I was eating a sandwich.
You're fine. I was more worried about Chaos playing with the eyeless dog plush and exploding. Is what I meant.
Did he already? Oh my fucking god.
Didn't know that's what Substitute did. That is fucking adorable. I don't understand the point of that move. It's adorable, but I don't understand it. What is the point of Substitute? Like, I'm glad you can do a substitution jutsu, but like, why? Why is that a thing you can do? You just turned into a fleshy stick. It really fucking did. Oh, I have no answers to these questions. Guys. How do I get off of me? Wiggle! Nope, can't wiggle you. Damn it. Oh, Captain. Captain is full. Damn it!
Ah! Ah, there's a timer! There's a timer! Help, 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 help! I'm in a saw. I need a nail file, a piece of gum. I need a nail file, a piece of gum, and a paper clip.
What is it? What's this code?
Z 3, 2,
3 I
1.
Dude, I can't read half of it. C3.
Okay. I'm back. With the cookie. And an Ami. And a Maru. Give me a second. I wanted to cook. I inhaled the rest of my food on that stretch break. And then decided I wanted a cookie on top of that. Because why not? Okay. It's now or never. And this time, we're gonna shoot her and see what happens. I close my eyes and squeeze the trigger. A loud echo bangs through the alley. I didn't want to do that one the first time, but I thought for sure it would be a click-click situation, and nothing happened. Boy, was I wrong. I'm afraid to look at what I've done. I've been to a shooting range once and felt absolutely horrified by pistols. Such a small thing, but it can easily puncture a hole in the fabric reality is made of. I never knew I'd be able to use it against another human being. The very thought makes me want to puke. You were a right choice after all. I'm so glad. You haven't allowed yourself to break, but you've crossed the line I needed you to cross. There's a silent flame in you that could become an inferno if left unchecked. I sure hope it will. She's still alive. Her voice is coming from behind me. She puts her hands around my waist. Her cold mouth touches my neck. I can feel my shirt getting violently torn off. I don't understand, but I'm too dazed to protest. That was your final test. Congratulations. You have proven yourself worthy. I can feel something sharp sliding into my neck. It's not too painful. It's startling. Think a doctor pushing a needle into your vein without a proper warning. Then it hits me. Pure bliss. The dopamine receptors I've considered completely fried until now suddenly recover and start bombarding me with pleasure I've never known before. I finally let the tears go. They come flooding. They've been waiting for years. It's such a relief. Is it raining? I feel like I'm in the middle of a deluge, at least, washing away all of my fears, all of my sorrows, all of my anger, all of my pain, all of my ego. I've become one with the world and the woman behind me. She's holding me tight, making me feel like the only important thing in this world. Everything else blurs. I feel something intense toward her, something I've never felt before. Is this love? I hope it is. This is not you. This is a familiar, cynical voice in the back of my head. But it's okay. I never felt particularly fond of me anyway. New York, you're perfect. Oh, please don't change a thing. He who laughs in the shadows always has the last laugh. Hallelujah, praise be, when everything is cliche, nothing is. Isn't that the ever-distant utopia I've been chasing all along? People on the other trains, I hope you're doing fine. God, shut up, just enjoy it. You finally understand. She's making love to me. She's giving birth to me. She's burying me. I'm pretty sure I've been dead for a while. Pretty sure I could stare at my own corpse in her hands from a distance for a moment somehow. And then I'm alive again. She lifts her mouth from my neck. No, wait. I taste blood in my mouth. Was I drinking her blood too? I realize that whatever this was, it's over, and I have to bask in the afterglow while I still can. I also immediately understand that I'm going to chase this fleeting feeling, for the rest of my existence. Finally, she lets out a whisper, which concludes the ceremony. No matter what happens next, don't forget, you're a monster. But you were lucky enough to be born into a world of monsters, so don't you ever mourn that fact. Embrace it. Oh, hey, look, we made it to the opening credits, guys. This time. Once again, I find myself in Big Beat Burgers. Familiar surroundings, faces I recognize, mood, same as it ever was.
I gotta adjust. I am uncomfy.
Still, I process it in an entirely different way. It all frustrates me now, or more precisely, makes me frustrated with myself. It's like I'm clinging to the remnants of a cocoon I've outgrown. Ugh. Trying to get comfy. Which is hard to do when you have an auto-inflammatory disease that makes your body, in and of itself, uncomfortable. It is what it is. Ugh. Feel that. It's the same with these cigarettes. I don't need them anymore, so why do I keep holding on to them? Fucking hell, it's like I refuse to accept that I'm something better than I used to be. A vampire. Dictionary updated. Just 2 nights ago, I met Karen. She embraced me, by which I mean turned me into a kindred. She calls herself my sire, and me her child. Last night, she taught me the basics of survival. Drinking blood, manipulating humans, bending steel, controlling shadows. What plan are we? Tonight, I expected more lessons. Instead, she told me to go out and enjoy myself. What's the catch? I asked, to which she responded, I might kill you if you prove to be a disappointment. God damn. There are a few rules. I have to uphold the masquerade. Can't contact anyone I knew as a human. Can't let anyone realize I'm not human anymore. I can't embrace anyone, and so on. Otherwise, I'm free to do whatever I want. But for some reason, the first thing I did was come back here. Old habits die hard. Karen is probably watching me from somewhere even now. The way I understand it, tomorrow night she is supposed to introduce me to the Camarilla, a local society of vampires. Turns out they are the ones who have been systematically ruining my life lately. All part of some secret evaluation that I barely passed. Just imagining the reach they have makes me dizzy. After they destroyed the old me, that I barely cared about, Karen rebuilt me anew. On one hand, her test left some scars that will take time to heal. On the other hand, maybe I should just be grateful. I am snapped out of my thoughts by a sudden scream. Some douchebag yelling about his french fries not being salty enough. I think this is my cue to leave. Permanently. Goodbye, BBB. I hope I never see you again. I'm destined for greater things, you see. Oh boy! I have choices! Maybe. Oh, I just clicked. Okay. The rising of swiping right. This Tinder addict smells like A, a bit of a loser. B, a wannabe intellectual. C, a perfect source of nourishment. Dance macabre. Time to swing a little more on the devil's dance floor. The club beckons. Retributive justice. A meth head bully and his unfortunate victim. I probably shouldn't interfere, but what better chance could I find to test what I've become? I don't really want to drink a meth head, though. Go to the club. And my vacuum is mad about something. I'll be right back. I gotta fix that.
I came around the corner just in time to see that shit. Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh my god, you scared the shit out of me. All I saw was your hand through the door.
I'm coming for you.
It's a thumper.
Alright, sorry about that. I need to fix the vacuum when it gets stuck like that. Otherwise, the battery will just die and it won't do any cleaning. So, the battery's gonna die, at least clean. you know? Go to the club. This club reeks of death, and I love it. Hey, this club looks familiar. See if we can find the anarchs while we're here. I've been here quite a few times, but I've never seen anything this breathtaking. Everyone around me is whacked out of their minds, and as they keep dancing madly, the spirits dance beside them. Spectral silhouettes phase in and out of existence, becoming more visible the more intense the music grows. It looks like a bizarre ritual, profane math. I notice it's the voice samples the ghosts react to the strongest. The most suggestive ones cause them to appear distorted, even tormented. Spectral. It's as if something was struggling to be born out of the harsh sounds, and the dead were hoping to be reborn alongside. They're all uneasy, quivering with desire for something far beyond their reach, probably the same as when they were alive. Sometimes the living dancers spot their dead counterparts, usually the most manic ones who notice something out of the corner of their eye for only a split second, but never realize what they've glimpsed. So we're a clan of vampires that can see the dead, apparently. I'm not sure which clan that is, because that's not something I'm familiar with. Some apparitions dance to a completely different tune than the rest of us, one only they can hear. Those seem the saddest. The spectacle is eerie. At times, it's unbearably melancholic. Above all, it's beautiful. I keep moving to the rhythm until I reach a trance-like state. And then, something even stranger happens. Every now and then, when I brush against someone, fragmentary vision appears before my eyes. Okay, so we're a psychic vampire. What clan are we? What the fuck, man? I need to know, what clan are we? Because this ain't Gangrel, and it ain't Ventru. Not Nosferatu. Is it Tremere? Oh, I don't know. A car burning on a freeway, an outstretched hand in the depths of the sea, a man jumping out of a skyscraper window. Ooh, please do not remind me of 9/11. No thank you. Memories of the past? Preventable visions of the future. I have no idea what it means, but I'm strangely eager to find out. What's up? And then, there are dancers like her, ones that aren't ghosts, humans, or even vampires, but something else altogether. This new world is full of mysteries, and I plan to get to the bottom of them all. But for now, I just want to dance. Okay, I guess we're going on a Tinder date. He lowers his eyes awkwardly, thinking how to proceed with his rant. So it's like the conversation isn't really smooth, yeah? It's like I keep throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks, but nothing seems to stick for long, you understand, yeah? You're one of those nice guys, aren't you? Uh-huh. It's really this lack of context that's killing me about online dating. It's bad enough when a few photos and a single sentence are all you have to rely on when starting a conversation, yeah? But when a cosmic miracle finally happens and she's actually willing to keep replying to you, she's actually down to meet up eventually, and you're out there sitting with her, and after 90 minutes you still don't have that shared context. Just no clue whatsoever. It's just like, take me out and put a bullet in my head and put me out of my misery. I can do that, baby. I hear you. So it's just one of those dates. And it's like, we've been sitting here for ages. And the only thing she has a prolonged interest in is getting as hammered as possible. One drink after another. And the more drunk she is, the more familiar she's getting. It's these little things, you know? Touching my upper arm after each joke, her arms around my shoulder, her jokingly punching my waist. This escalation is subtle, but steady. In addition, one recurring topic appears, and this is all the cool shit she has and wishes she could have shown me. Oh, too bad it's all back at her apartment. That's when it hits me. She just wants to sleep with me. This is what happens with Tinder. Yeah, when you meet someone on Tinder, this happens sometimes. Yeah, well, eventually we both run out of ideas for topics that could potentially be interesting to the both of us. So I'm just like, yeah, I'd sure love to see all that crap in your apartment. So we Uber there, and it's an admittedly pretty nice apartment. Like, nothing too fancy, but I can tell her dad is the kind of asshole I'd like to punch in the face if I ever met him. Know what I mean? So she guides me to the kitchen and makes me some tea, a rare Indian blend. I got what it was 5 minutes later. Then she excuses herself and goes to the bathroom and doesn't come back. 10 minutes later, I run out of tweets to read and become a little concerned. Start looking around. The first thing that catches my eye is the kitchen table. Go on. The table is surprisingly large, and it's covered in neatly arranged documents, like some connect-the-dots investigation board, mafia conspiracy kind of thing. Naturally, I take interest. It takes me 20 seconds to process what it is. Her entire mental health history, sorted chronologically with all the juicy stuff, neatly underlined in color. And I mean entire. It's all in there. A detailed description of her fucked up household situation over the years. Anxiety, ADHD, bouts of depression, suspicions of schizophrenia, severe BPD, some weird psychosexual stuff with her brother. I keep reading and remember what I said about throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks. I'm dead certain that's how her shrinks went about diagnosing her. She finally comes out of the bathroom, like an hour after she went in there. At this point, I've read all of the shit on the table 3 times, and not just the stuff she's highlighted for my convenience. And I feel like, right now, I understand her better than, like, someone who's read Crime and Punishment understands Raskolnikov. And I'm not happy about that, like, at all. You know what I mean? Why are you talking to me about another date that you had? Uh-huh. She walks in with a cheerful hi. I respond with a slick, all good? She nods, does this weird finger gun thing, and chuckles. I pretend I've been doing work-related stuff on my phone the whole time. The small talk starts. A minute in, she casually picks up one of the documents on the table, and she starts doing these super obvious body language cues that are like, ooh, oh no, how did this get here? I'm practically dying inside, but I put on my cool face and make it look like I'm not here. Sorry, gotta reply to my boss. Yeah, he's working 24/7, psycho motherfucker, yeah, ha ha ha. She slowly collects all the documents, puts them away, and then nonchalantly asks me something about Tame Impala while I'm feeling crushed by all kinds of trauma I've just learned about. The apartment starts feeling like a coffin. All of a sudden, she picks up a kitchen knife and starts playing with it. With this zoned out stare. I'm fucking mortified. What do you think I did? Slept with her? Of course I slept with her! That's how the worst 6 months of my life began, and I couldn't even say I didn't see it coming. God, such a slut. He leans back and groans while holding his face behind his palms. I look at his neck. Every vein seems so visible and impossibly alluring. I don't think I ever looked at anyone's neck like that. I realize I feel insanely thirsty. Damn. I know. You sure took a turn. Years ago when this rant began, it was about continental philosophy. What? Sorry, can you say that again? He's pretty drunk. Barely able to focus on anything but his current train of thought. Just what I was hoping for. Years ago, when this... Never mind. Listen, it's stuffy in here. I want to go out. Some fresh air. You haven't touched your drink. I mean, I would if I could. No more alcohol for me. What? No, this one's not mine. I mean, some dude bought it for me, but I don't want it. He scans the room with the death stare, looking for the guy who did it, not realizing his best chance of finding him is in a mirror. Then, he drinks like half of my glass at once while looking around as if he was hoping to prove his dominance over an unseen enemy. Ah! Little man syndrome. Okay, after you. We're walking across a mostly empty street. He's focused on keeping upright and walking in a straight line. I'm focused on finding a spot where I can drink him up. You seem like bad news. Oh yeah? So why don't you just leave me alone? Determinism, I guess. Determination is the word you're looking for. Drunk, but fine. I roll my eyes, and that's when I notice it. A deep, underlit stairwell. I look around and realize there's no one around. This is my chair. I immediately yank him downstairs. It's almost pitch black, but I can still see his face. He doesn't seem shocked, more like awkwardness. Now listen, it's not that I, never wanted to do this sort of thing in public. Quite the opposite. It's just that I need a certain degree of comfort to, perform at optimum levels. Oh, shut up! I sink my fangs inside of his neck as he whimpers and becomes silent. Finally. That's what I've been waiting for the past hour. He relaxes in my arms, and I relax with him. It's like all the drinks I had to deny myself until now are hitting my head all at once, with no unpleasant side effects. I feel radiant. I don't want this moment to end, but it has to. I drop his body to the floor and lick the wound closed, just the way she taught me. His pulse is faint but steady. He reeks of booze. If anyone finds him, there should be no suspense. As I walk up the stairwell, I insert a finger into my mouth and try to sense my fang. No dice. Seems they really are retractable. Well, that's handy. The hunger pangs are gone. I rub my hands around my body, feel comfortable, hopeful, happy. I can't remember the last time I enjoyed life like this. Now, let's keep this party going. Wow, what a night. All right. In the palm of your hand. All right. Yeah. Cigarette. Why? It's fine. I watched Times Square from above. It's beautiful. Never thought this place could make me emotional, to be honest. But here I am, feeling deeply moved. Who would have thought? Getting up here was surprisingly easy, all things considered. It took more thought than physical effort. Earlier tonight, I started experimenting with this body's limit. I realized I can jump over small buildings and climb steep walls with ease now, and my whole perception of space has shifted. I planned a scenic route across the rooftop, did my best to avoid attracting attention, just as I was told, stayed in the shadows as much as humanly possible. I spot a drone from afar. For a second, I feel uneasy, but I remember what she told me. Machines won't get a clear view of me anymore. Camera footage, photos, it's all glitched out and blurry. Then how the fuck did they have pictures of fucking Sophie? If she can't have pictures taken of her, how do they have pictures of Sophie? Explain. Wouldn't take it for granted if I didn't try to catch my reflection earlier on. Couldn't see my face clearly. Not in the mirror. Not even in a puddle. My face was like one of Dolly's clocks. Okay, whatever. She told me to keep a low profile regardless. Someone might take note and track you down. She didn't care to elaborate, but it didn't sound encouraging. Suddenly it hits me that I might never be able to see my own face again. I won't even be able to take care of my looks by myself. What about the long-term psychological effects? A knot of anxiety tightens in my stomach. Jesus, this is probably just the tip of the iceberg. What else is going to change? Calm down. Wait a second. These past few nights have been the best of my life. For years, I was on a downward spiral. Failing health, no future, a feeling of overwhelming powerlessness. Now, everything has been flipped upside down. A total paradigm shift. A bad ending is no longer the only option. I'm actually looking forward to tomorrow. I forgot how that feels. Where it used to stand at mere seconds to midnight, the doomsday clock has been effectively turned off. A cold breeze brushes my cheek. As stupid as it sounds, I choose to read it as the world telling me to chin up. I can bend anyone to my will. I am capable of superhuman strength. I am a master of shadows. I can do anything. Tomorrow night, I will be introduced to my duties. If everything goes according to plan, I will become a New York City representative of Clan La Sombra. There we go. Figured it out, La Sombra. That. Okay, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about robbing the gods' TikToks for the La Sombra character, that all makes sense now. That makes sense. Whoever they are, whatever that means, I have no idea what to expect. But tonight is tonight. I'm free. All my worries from a month ago feel like they belonged to someone else. Finally, things are looking up. Hey, okay. Welcome to the pandemic. Okay. March 2020. Back at it again at Big Beat Burger. Familiar sounds, familiar smells, familiar faces. Yet again, I'm recalling that night when everything finally seemed to change for the better. I mean, it's not like I wasn't expecting everything to go back to the old, depressing normal. Even in the thick of it, the rational part of me recognized my state as temporary. But with these highs, there's always a hope it won't end. Or maybe that an ego death will finally occur. Be satisfied, you stupid fucking bitch. I command you. Here's all the logical evidence for why you should be satisfied. Here's the obvious direction for your life. Here's the detailed explanation of how you should treat the people that care for you. Sorry. No dice. I always fall back into the same old habits. It's like they were encoded deep in my DNA. The aimless, the powerlessness, the spiritual exhaustion, the goddamn fast food trips. Stupid fucking self-loathing, now amplified whenever I drink somebody's blood. Maybe I should just blame it all on the misfortune of my birth. You do this social climbing until you disassociate, then you are just this untethered, constantly frustrated ball of dumb desires. Except I'm sort of immortal right now, and I need to figure out what to do next. I watched this obscure Asian movie once. Ellie Lima Sabat. I don't. Starring Tadanobu Asano, one of the coolest guys in the world. He plays this Merzbow-like figure, a legendary noise musician, okay? There's this mysterious virus spreading around the world, causing despair and mass suicides. A rich CEO's granddaughter gets sick and longs to die, so he spends a fortune searching for the cure. Turns out Asano and his friend, played by the violent onsen geisha guy, are traveling through Japan, searching for the corpse-strewn towns and fields for any unique item that can produce beautiful sound. As it turns out, the avant-garde walls of noise they create are able to heal the infected. The CEO begs the band to help, offering them all the money they want, but for some reason they refuse. Through a series of flashbacks, concerts, and vignettes, a mystery unfolds. Eventually, we realize that Asano's music is not just a remedy. It's also a cause of the virus. Whenever it connects with people, they get this hunger for more extreme, more novel experiences. And eventually, they hit a wall. Nothing can satisfy them anymore. They lose their will to live. Not even the musicians are spared from this curse. They know the end will come, sooner or later. The girl is saved by a mind-blowing concert, but the tragedy is merely postponed, not averted. The last shot of a Jesus-like Asano, silently considering his role as savior and destroyer, stayed with me. The form of the film is abrasive. Little to no narrative coherence, some weird cartoonish creative choices, and the Japanese noise soundtrack, the very freedom and hard to understand weave of themes. But at this point, movies like this are all that truly connect with me. I'm the New York City representative of the La Sombra clan now, also known as the Night Clan. They are masters of shadows who cast distorted reflections and make modern tech go haywire in their presence. Oh, that makes sense. It's your clan specifically that does that. Okay, I understand now. Never played a La Sombra, so I didn't know that was a fucking thing. Anywho. Last year, a few months before I was embraced, the La Sombra had joined with the Camarilla, the biggest and most traditional sect in the vampire world. The two groups actually used to fight each other, but our leaders found some intel that made them reconsider their strategy, so they sent a diplomatic mission to parley with their historical enemies. The deal they got in Chicago was simple: an unlife for an unlife. For every La Sombra vampire allowed to in the Ivory Tower, one La Sombra vampire has to meet their ultimate end. Oh! What? That seems like a bad trade, in my opinion. I still remember the name of the woman who met her final death so I could begin my unlife. Her name was Hester Reed, a sworn enemy of the Camarilla, a guerrilla fighter who spent decades opposing them. She was someone with far better principles than mine, from what I've gathered. Well, whoever she was, her execution by my sire served to convince the NYC elites to give us La Sombra a chance. Then they set out to look for a mutually agreed-upon candidate who'd become the clan's rep in the city. My sire searched for someone who gave the impression she was more than she appeared. The local court was looking for someone they could walk all over. After long negotiations, they decided I was a good compromise. They proceeded to systematically destroy my entire life just to make me show I was psychologically strong enough to join their ranks. The turncoat special, they called it. Somehow, I succeeded. And it eventually led me right back to where I started. Ugh. I stopped writing and put my pen down. Will that be all? Oh, hi, Valerie. Hi. Didn't realize you were also La Sombra. Are you? No, you're not La Sombra. You were with... I don't fucking know. Yes, Miss Duval. I hope you enjoy your stay in London. Oh, I very much doubt I will. Just like every cultured person, I think the only good Englishman is a dead Englishman. Okay. Just kidding. Not interested in small talk with someone as sociopathic as her. I finished the formalities in silence. That will be all. Telka dear, I said hello and farewell. Safe travels. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, psycho. Oh, well. I'm the lone La Sombra in this town, and my representational role means jack shit. No title, no perks, no whatever. Right now, I work the court. I'm the court's gopher, doing all sorts of work nobody else will touch. My main duties? Being a sort of immigration officer. See, New York City is probably the biggest vampire travel hub in the USA, and definitely the biggest one on the East Coast. Almost every kindred arriving from Africa and Europe comes through here. The local Camarilla is nuts about bureaucracy and population control, so every vampire leaving or arriving in this town is supposed to check in with me to inform me about their travels. Well, in theory at least. The VIPs play by different rules. They take care of this stuff through connections and servants. But for the smaller fish, I'm like a vampire Statue of Liberty. The first bloodsuckers every kindred coming to NYC should see. On paper, anyway. The first after the prince, or Kadir, the Primogen Council. These things vary. Yeah, I'm a naturally treacherous Lasombra, but they still prefer being traditional and hands-on about these things. As I said, at the end of the day, I'm just a gopher. And this work only serves to remind me I'm not quite in just standing at the gate. They haven't even given me an office. I just meet everyone in public places, such as coffee shops or this fast food restaurant. Some consider this an insult and lash out at me, but luckily most of them understand we're in the same boat. Only here because we're curs who need to be reminded of our place from time to time. Speaking of, my last client is 15 minutes late, and I still have more errands to run tonight. This is getting irritating. To be honest, I should just find some self-respect and leave. But I won't. My sorry upbringing left me with a stupid sense of responsibility. 10 more minutes pass. Eventually, an unfamiliar woman appears by the door. She tells someone to stand by the door and walks in. Hi. You're pretty. Long chestnut hair, body stuck in her late teens by the look of it, fashionable scarf covering most of her face, elegant clothes, dignified walk. I signal her to sit in front of me, trying my best not to let my impatience show. She obliges. Here to check in? You're here to check in? I am. Julia Sowinski, I presume? She's scanning her surroundings like we're at a circus. I hope you won't mind if I make it quick. I'm needed in Elysium. Name? Catherine Weiss. Huh. Where have I heard that name before? Someone else's description of her crosses my mind. That weird lady who owns the art hole, but is never there? Weird. So it is her. Catherine Weiss, the owner of the art hole, de facto headquarters of the New York City Camarilla. For fuck's sake, Julia, what are you doing calling her weird right off the fucking bat? God knows you've already made a fool of yourself in front of enough VIPs in this city. Cover. I'm sorry, it's just that I don't know many people there, so I have to go by the descriptions I'm given by members of the Primogen. Well, the description is mostly correct. Outside of that one word that slightly perplexes me. Hot calling the kettle black, sounds like. From what I gathered, it's just that your interests are rumored to be, not fully aligned with the Camarillas, and it irks some folks up there. Being a keeper of the Elysium is not enough for some, I see. I suspected as much, but what can you do? She seems chill. Good. Anyway, Catherine Weiss. Wow. Yes. Want me to spell it? People often have trouble getting it. Forgive my indiscretion. It's just that people of your stature usually don't bother checking in with me. They usually report their arrival to one of the Primogen, and they make all the arrangements. I heard Prince Panhard is busy with the preparations for her big party. I assumed that if I spared her some paperwork, she'd appreciate it as a gesture of goodwill. Besides, I wanted to meet the infamous Lasombra representative out of sheer curiosity. My interest peaked once I heard about her. She looks around knowingly. Unique circumstance. Yes, Prince Ellen Panhard had trouble justifying the exorbitant rent my property would need. That's literally pennies for her. And as far as I know, she's been sitting on an empty property since last year. Looks like they've got it out for you. That's what I assumed, but it's nice to get a confirmation. Well, not like my clan has ever been particularly popular in these parts. At least, that's what I've heard. Sins of the fathers and so on. Yes, just to make sure, you've never met Hester, but you know of her? I do know I wouldn't be here if not for her. Have you two met? No, I only heard of her once or twice. We had similar outlooks on many issues, although we tended to come up with completely different solutions. In any case, I think it's meaningful that Hester died so that you could live. They feared her. Now they fear you, and that's why they're keeping you down. If anyone who's not a VIP said this to me, I'd laugh in their face. Oh, I get it, what she's doing. She's trying to buy my favor. That's not to act like I'm easy to please. Stick to business. Time will tell. In the meantime, I'll need you to help me out with my documentation. Of course. So, where are you coming from? Washington, D.C. She says it the way people in Hollywood movies say it. The way that suggests her Washington is wildly different from the Washington you and I would see. What were you doing there? Take a guess. Government work? Write that down. It ought to amuse Helen a little bit. You say so. Date and hour of arrival. She takes out a plane ticket and slides it towards me. It's all here. 1 a.m. Got it. Method of transit, plane, purpose of visit? Meeting with Prince. Ought to work just fine. I guess estimated duration of visit? Undefined. Write in 6 months if you really need to. Place of accommodation. Conditions of intended stay? The art hole. Conditions should be adequate. You tell me. I tend to be happy with Airbnb. Home sweet home? I'm not certain that I ever felt particularly at home here. That makes 2 of us. Curious. You have nothing holding you here? The face of a blonde-haired friend appears in my mind's eye and vanishes. There's nothing holding me anywhere. I see. A prolonged silence. She stares into my eyes, and I return the stare. She's studying me. It's unnerving, but I do my best not to turn away. Eventually, she smiles. Didn't you say you were short on time? Oh, God, yes. Kadir will kill me. I quickly begin to collect my stuff from underneath the table. You can simply inform him I paid you a visit. He'll understand, and he'll pass it on to everyone who should be in the know. Need anything else? I'm fine. I was about to ask you that myself. You're the one asking questions here. That's all from me. Good. We'll see each other soon, I hope. The party tomorrow night? I, wasn't invited. She gives me a pitying look. I understand. Well, if not given the opportunity, we should make our own. I'll be in touch. Good night, Miss Wise. I wish you a pleasant stay. Good night. And don't rush these things. You've got your whole unlife ahead of you, and you're in a position where you can take it easy. Take your time. Get a different perspective. I nod and walk slowly out the door. When I lose sight of the restaurant, I sprint for the subway. Slow night? I wish. You're late again, by the way. Hope you have a good excuse. Oh, your hair's pulled back this time. Normally it's down. Kadir al-Assami, the mighty sheriff of New York City, is not happy with me. No wonder. I met him in front of Elysium 30 minutes later than the time we had agreed on. Yeah, well, Catherine, fucking Wise, decided to arrive fashionably late. A likely story. She's supposed to be out of the city. If you think I'm pulling your leg, boss, feel free to check my report. I pass him all of the official papers the way I do every other night. Kadir stares me down for a good few seconds. Then his steely gaze softens. You're serious? Wise in McDonald's, with a mask and elegant clothes surrounded by the smell of French fries and hamburger patties. That must have been one hell of a sight. Technically, it was BBB, not McDonald's. But yeah. God, I made such a fool of myself. First thing I did, I quoted somebody calling her a weirdo. Wanted to die on the spot. Serves you right. You're walking faux pas. I've been trying to teach you to control your tongue, but you never learn. It's a new gaffe every week with you. Still, there's good news and bad news. The good news is, Catherine has a fondness for vampires who of humble beginnings. Probably why she decided to see you in your, shall we say, natural habitat. She's one of those rich art scene assholes who seeks out working class cred. I did say something about watching your tongue. The bad news is, she is very astute, so she can recognize a moron like you straight away. You never stood a chance at impressing her. Oh, shut up. You still need me for anything here. I'll get on it straight away. I wouldn't be standing out here chatting with you if I hadn't taken care of my duties. 30 minutes is all it took to finish preparations for the big party. I'm about to see everyone off. Sorry. Couldn't be helped, I suppose, and it's more your loss than mine. I just wanted some company tonight, and you could really use a chance to appear here on official duties, so everyone can get to know your face. Heaven knows your fast food job isn't going to get you anywhere. You need to. What do they call it? Hustle? You don't need to tell me that, but it's not like being paraded around for a bunch of blue-blooded douchebags is. He somehow manages to give me a painful nudge in the back without so much as a hint of visible movement. Language, you fool. They're coming out. Just stand here in silence for 5 minutes and focus on not embarrassing yourself any further, will you? Got it. The first two silhouettes appear in the doorway of the art hole. An old man in a wheelchair, pushed forward by his young servant. I haven't seen either of them before. Mr. Payne, the night is still young. Hope you find the rest of it pleasant. Payne, wheelchair, I've heard about him. Addison Payne. One of the American Camarilla's main connections to the government and Wall Street. Disabled in quite a few ways, needs a servant to communicate. I'd be full of resentment if I was embraced in this condition, but apparently Payne is nothing but grateful for his immortality. He keeps writing fervent defenses of the traditions of Camarilla customs. Stay silent. That's what I was told to do. He wordlessly shakes Kadir's hand, but doesn't even deign to acknowledge me. At least his servant gives me a small bow. I return it. They leave. Kadir turns to the next person leaving. High Regent, can't wait to see you in your outfit. Spare me, Sheriff. These fancy dress-up parties cause me enough suffering without your help. I can only hope you haven't conspired with Helen to embarrass me with this gift. Points to a shrink-wrapped set of clothes she's carrying inside her coat. Kadir smirks briefly. I didn't have to. As you well know, Prince Panhard displays a considerable foresight in the matter of party planning. Yes, if there's one thing she's deathly serious about, it's frivolities. A recognizably mortal quality, especially for a prince. We ought to celebrate it, not oppose it. Oh, it's getting dark. Don't worry, Sheriff. I'm a big girl who knows her etiquette. I will play your game, amuse the crowd a little bit, and return to my study as fast as possible. Here we go. Now y'all can see me again. Aisling Sturbridge, the High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, a hero of the Battle of New York, biggest warlock in town. Could be a prince herself, if she didn't have her eyes on a bigger prize. The thing is, nobody knows what that prize is. They only know it has something to do with the goal of her thaumaturgical research. Whoever tried to find out what it is, failed. Violently. Oh, I'm sure you're going to have fun, Miss Sawinski. Oh, sorry. I'm sure you're going to have fun. Miss Sawinski here has just informed me Catherine Wise is back in town. It is safe to assume she will join our festivities. You're kidding me. She did say she will attend the party. She did say she will attend the party. Not safe to assume it's certain. She told me she will be here tomorrow. Wow, excellent. I'd love to catch up with her. The barely concealed venom in her voice clearly suggests that, in fact, she'd hate to catch up with her. Yes, looks like tomorrow night will be a very special. But for now, I bid you adieu. And she's gone. Is there some kind of story between Aisling and Wise that I should be aware of? You could say that. High Regent Sturbridge once attempted to call for a blood hunt on Wise. How'd that go? Why? I've heard 5 different versions of the story, and all of them seem plausible. Catherine's relationship with the city is odd, to say the least, but hush for now. He's obviously trying to kill the conversation, and the appearance of Thomas Artuo gives him a perfect way out. Mr. Artuo! Ah, Halasami. Keep up the good work, eh? Piece of shit! Of course. Thomas Artuo, an architect by trade, he's a herald, a member of Prince Panhard's inner circle, an eccentric whose thoughts seem to be 10 times faster than his words. Good night, Mr. Artuo. Ah, yes. He disappears into the night. Well, that was brief. Maybe I should just stand in their way. That might force them to properly acknowledge my existence. You severely underestimate their dedication to ignoring whelps like you. And just in case you're serious, I beg of you. I've been meaning to ask you this for a while now, but never had the opportunity. You really hate Artuo's guts, don't you? He carefully measures his diplomatic response. I have no strong feelings about Thomas Artuo whatsoever. Yeah, well, considering you're always listing positives about every local Camarilla representative under the moon, you might as well have called him a cunt. Language whelp. And as for Artuo, I will share my opinion about him as soon as I come up with one that sticks for more than a week. A group of kindred emerges from the art hole, rushing towards the street. Only a noble-looking woman stops next to us. She's wearing a hijab, but curiously enough, doesn't hide her hair beneath it. Primogen. If you were rude enough to stare, you'd quickly notice the cloth serves mostly to cover up her horrifying scars. Kadir. Oh, and young Julia. Samira. I like that name. She's pretty. I'm doing my best not to stare because Samira is one of the few NYC Camarilla figures who hasn't been an asshole to me yet. Still here? Did the prince require the clan of the Hunt's counsel in some matter? Yes. I advised her that no matter how hard she tries, she shouldn't expect me to wear a different costume tomorrow. She's the Banu Hakim Primogen. Just like the Lasombra, their clan was independent from the Camarilla until relatively recently. However, they negotiated a better deal than we did. They have a Primogen, for one. Yeah, because that's not a clan I'm familiar with. Hailing from the Middle East, that's why, the Banu Hakim are drawn to the practice of justice. The rules must be upheld, and every transgression punished. They don't have as much say in NYC, but the prince often seeks their judgment. It's just good PR. I trust she was understanding. Those are beautiful clothes. Thank you so much. I am eager to see the outfit you came up with. And how are you, Julia? Have you seen any lights at the end of the tunnel? I'm not even invited. They haven't even invited me to the party tomorrow. Sorry to hear that. I trust you're pestering the prince and your superiors to improve your standing. It's a process. Oh, Julia, you won't achieve anything if you don't keep reaching for it. Kadir, weren't you supposed to teach her the ropes? I'm trying to, Parmesan, but with this child, it's always a process. I can only wish you good luck, then. Good night, Julia. Good night, dear. Good night. Have a safe trip. The art hole has to be almost empty by now. You like her, don't you? Stop with your class clown act, whelp. It only serves to reveal deep insecurity. Wow, that's harsh. It's factual. Were I as harsh as you claim? You did tell us both to call her Samira, but you're still keeping your distance with that Parmesan shit. Watch your profanity, and don't project your fantasies onto me. I won't give you a lesson about professional boundaries, but I suspect the way you will eventually learn it will be extremely unpleasant. Well, you look like a douche canoe. Don't do it on me. Ah. Don't. Oops. Motherfucker. You missed this time. No. Why do you do this? Why do you come up here just to sneeze on me? Go sneeze on your brother. Ah, it's all over the blanket. Why do you do this? Why are you like this, huh? Why? Why do you gotta sneeze on me all the time? Gross. If anyone ever said that having a cat is not like having a toddler, they're a fucking liar. Exactly like having a toddler, because they insist on sneezing in your face. Carter Vander Wyden. You look like a douche canoe. I want to punch you in the face repeatedly with a brick. Am I interrupting something good, folks? Even though I'm constantly pestering him, Kadir's composure is unshaken. His response comes swift and unfazed. Not at all, Mr. Vander Wyden. Heading back to your office? You know me, my dear sheriff. Where else would I go? Now that's curious, even though Carter Vander Wyden is a Primogen as well, Octavian, to be precise. Wow! How? I don't hear Kadir address him as such. Hope to see you tomorrow night. Oh, I will absolutely show up, provided I can. But just in case, I already apologize for not making it to the prince. Simply drowning in work these days. Yeah, The rhythms, tempos, and intonation patterns of his voice are so familiar. Half of it sounds like JFK, the other half exactly like Barack Obama. Just like his appearance. It all feels so fake. Agreed. He's old money, of course, comes from a long line of Dutch merchants who originally settled in New York region, runs a wildly successful law office, rubs elbows with elites of both kindred and kind varieties alike. He seems perfect in every way, and that's why he's so unnerving. He's a child of Malkov, and must be blighted with some affliction, but whatever it is, he doesn't let it show. Hard not to wonder what he's hiding. The celebrations are planned to last all week. Surely you will find the time. I pray I will, my good man. I pray I will. In case you need to reach me, you know where to find me. Have a good one. He doesn't even register my presence before leaving. Sometimes I think they're all still hoping I will simply go away. As Carter drives away in his limousine, Kadir shakes his head. You wanted to hear about which member of New York City's Camarilla I dislike the most? Yes. He shoots me a knowing glance and smirks. Too bad, they're all my dear colleagues, and I deeply respect every single one of them. Sure you do. Wouldn't want to blurt out something that could lock you out of Mr. Vander Wyden's legal services, would you, kiss-asser? I do expect to find myself in need of a good defense attorney when my broke, incompetent, and foul-mouthed assistant finally pushes me over the edge. Rue, do you still need me here? I still need to swing by St. Patrick's tonight. Don't worry, we're almost done. The prince is coming out. The captain is the last person to leave the ship, huh? And there she is. Helen Panhard. Big kahuna, as someone I once knew would call her. The de facto ruler of New York City, and a self-professed patron of the arts. Dear, a penny for your thoughts. You should be pleased to hear the High Regent is resigned to her fate, my prince. Mr. van der Weyden is decidedly not. I suspect he will be too busy to join the festivities. All the week through. Excellent. She turns to me. Miss Sawinski, weren't you supposed to accompany our good sheriff in his duties tonight? There was an unexpected change of plans. Catherine Wise is back in the city. Catherine is here. Now that's a welcome surprise. But what does it have to do with you, Miss Sawinski? I took care of her paperwork. She said she didn't want to trouble you with all the paperwork regarding her arrival, Prince Panhard. It's all been taken care of. Kadir has already been informed of everything. That's certainly a nice gesture, but wait a minute now, where exactly did you meet her? In a fast food restaurant, my prince. Let's see. Helen rubs her eyes. Catherine and her love for proletarian amusement. I suppose it will be a source of amusing anecdotes this week. If we want to avoid these situations in the future, it might be a good time to discuss offering Miss Sawinski an office of her own. We'll get to it eventually. There are more pressing matters at hand. The festivities start tomorrow, and there's still much to be done. Will you make sure the art hole is secure before leaving? Certainly, my prince. Have a good night. Good night, dear. Good night, Miss Sawinski. We'll talk about your work soon. Don't worry. Of course. Good night, Prince Panhard. The chauffeur escorts her to a limo. There's an awkward silence between me and Kadir until the car disappears around the corner. More pressing matters, huh? Any for your thoughts, Sheriff? I'm certain an image of a keeper of the Elysium stuck in a fast food restaurant will linger in Prince Panhard's mind. You're far closer to your goal than you were a few minutes ago. I'm pretty sure I've heard you say something like that, to that effect, a few times. And I stand by my words. Rome wasn't built in a day, Julia. As a Camarilla loyalist, don't you think it sucks that the Ivory Tower is so hell-bent on showing disrespect to my clan? They're actually willing to make fools of themselves in the process. We've all had to endure our own hazing rituals, but yes, the current situation is not ideal. Whatever. You need a hand closing up Elysium? I'll manage. It's getting late. Better run. Some shadow in Chicago is probably impatient to get a copy of the reports you've given me. You've pleased one master. Now it's time to please the other. Yeah. Here's the thing about working for two masters. Neither of them really thinks of you as their own. Not knowing how to reply, Kadir shrugs. I wave to him goodbye and head for the subway. When I reach St. Patrick's Cathedral, I'm greeted by a voice that grates on me like teeth on tinfoil. Oh, Ben, you look wildly different than you did in the last one. Wildly different. Well, 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 the prodigal daughter returns. Oh my god, no. This is the one thing I didn't want to happen. Julia, please, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Where's Father Leonard? His clergy duties kept him from getting here on time. He sent me to apologize in his name and keep you company for a few minutes. That's the second thing he ought to apologize for. He just wants his flock to live in unity. I'm more than willing to oblige him. Why won't you? What the fuck happened between coteries and shadows? Like, what? For the last time, I am not a part of his flock. We have a purely professional arrangement. I know you see it that way. The Night Clan's tendency to stick close to the Catholic Church is their greatest virtue, and they still consider this relationship purely instrumental. This is why we need kindred like you to bring the spiritual change to your clan, to make them understand God's precious gifts. The closer they get to the light, the greater their shadows would become. Again with this insufferable sermonizing. Ben Segal here is a local nutjob and an ex-artist, a degenerate, who had some sort of complete mental breakdown in the 90s. To recover, he took to religion for solace and guidance. Regenerate. I don't even see that word in here. Harpy? Okay, cool. Is it in? There it is. Nope. That's not what I was looking for either. Actually, open that back up. All. Can we alphabetize the dictionary, please? Yeah, not here. Kindred gossip master extraordinaire will often trade their wisdom for favors or political gain, while harpy originated as an insult. Some have taken the term back and wear it as a badge of pride. After all, who doesn't need a friend who has dirt on everyone? Okay. At first, he proclaimed his readiness to devote the rest of his unlife to studying nautism. After a few years, though, he changed his mind and joined the Catholic Church instead. As luck would have it, his neophyte's zeal found a major target in me. When I first met him, I was stupid enough to tell him I was raised Catholic and still identified as such, somewhat. He immediately pictured me as some sort of a force for change within the Camarilla and set out to put me back on the righteous path. Now he won't stop preaching to me, apparently, until I become a nun. Remember, the darkest place is directly beneath the candle. You turncoats have this unfortunate predisposition to find salvation right within your grasp, and then lose your way in the shadows. Christ, once he starts, he just won't stop. Guess it's time to bring out the big guns. By the way, I was meaning to ask, got any news about Sophie Langley? Ow! A painful grimace crosses his face, but doesn't linger. Kind of rude to change the subject. Rude? I'm just looking for a topic both sides of this conversation would care about. You know, like any guide on etiquette says you should. Salvation is a topic close to anyone's heart, whether they admit it or not. And it's pretty bold of you to assume I still care about Langley. I do not assume. I'm certain you do. The second she retires from the public eye, you stop acting like Jesus era Kane and start acting like Jesus is King era Kane. Coincidence? Oh, Kanye, sorry. I've never had a Jesus era. Do people really call it that? Here's how it's going to work. Tell me what you know, and I'll tell you what they say. And keep in mind, I didn't know she was your sire until a few nights ago. Hell, I haven't even met her. He winces a bit at me, saying, hell, but let's go. Sure, I figured you would have prodded that wound long ago if you knew. But what do you care anyway? Better to let you drone on about your tormented past than to let you carry on with your good missionary shtick. Professional curiosity. Once a journalist, always a journalist. He scratches his head, then exhales in a sad mockery of a chuckle. Fine then, I'll do my best to make it short. Just like you said, Sophie Langley, every New York's kindred beloved socialite, was my sire. First met sometime after World War II. I left France right before the Nazis went around the Hanoi line. I struggled to keep my siblings alive with my art. Watched my brother die during the flu epidemic of 43. I was close to losing my mind. That's when she showed up. Said the sheer torment in my work caught her eye. She became my patron, allowed my talents to flourish, and supported me financially. Eventually, she embraced me. Well, as a well-off kindred, my artistic interests started to naturally deviate from what they used to be back when I was a poor mortal upstart. I began to see the world the way her social circle does. And that she couldn't forgive. Instead of being a fun novelty, I became just another part of the malaise surrounding her. She grew distant, and then stopped seeing me altogether. I've had my share of meltdowns because of this. I won't deny that. I locked myself out of my career opportunities, but it was an important lesson. Don't trust your elders. Vampirism affects them psychologically as well. They take interest in you, they won't stop until they suck your soul dry, and then discard you like a broken toy. For the first time since I've known him, Seagal registers to me as something other than a Bible-thumping nuisance. Is it compassion I feel? Do I find him relatable? How dreadful. It's possible he's strategically trying to elicit sympathy. Maybe he heard about my dramatic exit from Lodestar. Or maybe he's just alluding to the way my sire left me here to fend for myself. It is only God who will never lead you astray. This is why you find your act so frustrating, Julia. You're so close to getting it, but you choose sin instead. There's the Ben Seagal I know. Almost had me fooled. Let's get back on track. What about Langley's disappearance from the city? Her path was a road to perdition. Wherever she ended up, I doubt she's too happy about it. She had plans for the future of this city, wanted to make it her ultimate artwork. She was always the vain one. And of course, you are completely sure you have nothing to do with her disappearance? Please don't tell me you're getting at what I think you're getting at. Everybody says you've been acting like you're trying to repent for something ever since her vanishing act. And you've got a motive. Of course, I'm getting at what you think I'm getting at. Ben shakes his head. You really have the devil in your heart, Julia. Always testing me. Just asking what everyone's thinking. Are they now? Listen, I'm familiar with a lot of the insults attached to my name in this city. Those aren't exactly compatible with the image of a ruthless killer. Killer, huh? Now that's interesting. I haven't said anything about killing. He scrubs his hands over his forehead and collects himself before responding. Stop picking apart every word I say in this completely unpleasant way. Here's a statement if you really want one, Miss Hercule Poirot. I do believe Sophie, the way I knew her, has met her end. Even if she's still walking this earth, she wouldn't come back here as the same prideful aristocrat. She'd have to undergo a spiritual rebirth. Someone has reminded her of her place. Her former friends talk of her in hushed voices. Even that servant play toy of her went missing. No more Camarilla parties. She's done for. So I'm dead too. Cool. Great. Good to know. Good to know Vita's dead. Ouch. What happened to her, I don't know. I swear on Jesus and his sandals, I had nothing to do with it. But yes, I'm still here, and she's not. And it's not a reason to gloat, but to be more humble. I received a sign from God telling me to re-examine all the unfortunate ways I still resemble Sophie Langley. And I listened. I rejected the pride I shared with her. I renewed my vows to God, recommitted to preaching his greatness. I mean, this is why we're having this conversation in the first place. Right now, when I think of Langley's influence on my life, I am grateful, because she was a sign that got me here. And if God wills it, maybe one day you'll look at her the same way, Julia. Mental note, whenever he circles back to this preachy tone, it's time to intervene. All right. If it makes you feel any better, I think that the only way a wimp like you could have hurt her was by boring her to death with Bible quotes. Now then, quid pro quo, tit for tat. You were saying people still talk about me. I was curious if... Oh, look who's finally here! Stalling for time worked. Father Leonard rushes in our direction, carrying a folder of documents under his arm. I assume it's the one I came here for. Father Leonard. Christ be praised, Julia. Yesterday I was told this is how priests greet their parishioners in Eastern Europe. Forever and ever, amen. Actually, I think we said each other's lines. Never mind, another long night. Isn't it taking a toll on you? Ugh, no need to worry. These days I sleep a few hours a day. Short naps take care of the rest. And there's always work to be done. I apologize for being late. At least I managed to get here before you and Ben went for each other's throats. But I was getting worried. Oh, who do you take me for, Father? He takes you for a total bozo who's about as effective at converting people as a documentary about pedophilia in the Catholic Church. He's just too kind to say it out loud. Ouch. Hear what I have to deal with, Father? But don't worry, we'll make a saint of her yet. Forget saint. For now, I'd settle for an adult in the room. He's 70 years older. You do remember he's at least 70 years older than I am, right? As far as I'm concerned, growing up has far less to do with age than with the conditions of our formative years. Here. He gives me a folder he was carrying with him, and I pass him the reports I wrote earlier tonight. Among kindred, it is common knowledge that the Catholic Church is one of the La Sombra's greatest assets. Hell, it might even be one of the main reasons the Camarilla is slowly warming up to the clan. We are technologically impaired, and as such, woefully unprepared to face the challenges of communicating in the 21st century. Hard to handle advanced encryption when you can't even unlock a smartphone. It's okay, because phones are banned by the Camarilla, so moot point there. This is where the Vatican connections enter the picture. A web of priests scattered all around the world exchange our dispatches between each other, making sure they all reach their destinations in total secrecy. I was told not everyone in the Holy See is friendly to our kind, but the most shrewd and talented usually are. You could say they're like a mortal Camarilla, better than any intelligence agency. Remember what happened to John Paul I when he attempted to uncover the workings of the Institute for the Works of Religion? Death after 33 days of papacy? Rumors of CIA and Masonic involvement? Not that Father Leonard has anything to do with any of this. For a Catholic priest, he's alright. Probably have made me stay a believer a few years longer than I did had I known him as a teenager. Leonard is intelligent, kind, helpful towards his parishioners, treats his superiors with a healthy dose of skepticism, and is not involved in any sort of political church games. Well, at least not beyond helping me contact my bosses in Chicago every other night or so. He knows about the kindred, and he knows about the Second Inquisition. He opted to avoid the latter in order to keep the former from oppression, because according to him, it's the right thing to do. I know there's got to be something wrong with it. Some selfish motivation, maybe. And I haven't nailed it down yet, but it doesn't feel like he's making an effort to hide it, so I'm giving him a pass. By the way, I hope you don't mind. I finally took the liberty of asking how your parents are doing. Thank you, Father, but you shouldn't. Not a problem. The priest at St. Stanislaus Koska is a good friend. He says your parents started showing up every Sunday again. Front row. Your father is looking better and better. It makes me feel nothing, but I still give him a token nod and a grateful smile. Thank you, Father Leonard. Now, if you'll excuse me, the sunrise is almost here. Yes. Be careful, and God bless you. Amen. Goodbye, Julia. I'll let you off the hook this time, but next time you won't be so lucky, alright? Sure, just one more thing on my never-ending list of events I'm not looking forward to. Guess it's time to call it a night. I'm home. I like. Dakota! Finally. You doing alright? Fine, I guess. Why aren't you asleep? Figured it's finally time for me to become more of a night owl. We've talked about making our schedules sync better. Watch your vitamin D. I'd kill to have your skin. I'd be ashamed to waste it. Shouldn't have smoked so much before you got bitten, sweetheart. Should have shared your skincare routine with me back when I was still breathing. I can't just be going around sharing my one secret weapon. It's top secret stuff. MK Ultra level. Jeffrey Epstein's current whereabouts level. I'd have to kill you if I told you. Well, everybody knows where Jeffrey Epstein is these days. The dirt. Dying sounds good. I have a secret weapon too. Love you too. Okay then. Love you too, hon. Hon, what's with the attitude? Nothing. I just thought, we're beyond hiding secrets from each other. I guess I was wrong, but okay. I get it, I really do. Time out. You're not really mad, are you? Nah, it's just my inner asshole teasing you. Never mind. I feel a little more self-conscious than usual tonight. Don't. You want me to do your makeup before you go to sleep? No need. No need? Weren't you supposed to have some sort of big party tomorrow night? Heh. I was involved with the backstage stuff. What makes you think I was invited? Because you're the coolest, cutest, and most all-around amazing person I know? It'd be insane not to put you on the short list. Believe it or not, but most vampires are pretty insane. Interdimensional psychic vampire level insane, because that's how crazy they'd have to be to ignore you like this. Yeah, I would say so. Fuck them then. Big bunch of posh dicks. They hate you because they ain't you. But they'll see. Jesus, how do you do it? Do what? You always assault me with so much of this weird, stupid positivity that I can't react without completely shifting my mental attitude. How do you do it? Oh, the answer is easy. You remember how I told you we have this spiritual connection? I can sense what you feel and want. You can sense what I feel, too, if you really focus. Yeah. I think I called it a big load of bullshit. Said a girl who talks to ghosts. But watch this, Agent Scully. I sensed you feeling down, and I realized what you really need to end this night. She points to one of her drawers. It's the one where she keeps her supply of... ketamine? Come on. What? No, wrong drawer. We're not meeting demons. We're meeting angels. MDMA? Ding, 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 ding. It took it a half hour ago. Perfect timing thanks to our spiritual connection. Ready to fly away? The mood isn't right. I need music. Got a special SoundCloud playlist ready to go, prepared specifically to uplift one Julia Sawinski. Just give me a sign and I'll press play. Jesus, you're impossible. That's why you love me, I hope. I give up. Come here, let me have a taste of you. Maybe this one time, the high won't end. I am going to take my stretch break, and then I'll play for a little bit longer. Actually, I think I'm gonna end it here. My throat's getting really sore, so I'm gonna call it here tonight. Just because my throat's getting really sore, like it feels like there's inflammation. I have an auto-inflammatory disease, and I trigger it by talking a lot, as far as my vocal cords go, and I can tell they need a rest. So I'm gonna call it here, and I will see you guys later. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And I'm not doing Once Human this week because of Thanksgiving, and but I will be doing 7 Days to Die on Saturday morning, and I will be doing Palia on Sunday morning. And then I think we should be able to resume our regular schedule next week. But as of right now, no Once Human on Thursday. So, excuse me. I will see you guys later, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Excuse me, Ame, I need to hit a button here. So, I will see you all later. Have a good Thanksgiving. Bye! Stay safe on Black Friday, because people are psycho!